I learned that time management's a learned skill. That you don't just, or you're not just necessarily good at it. And it's really easy to learn. There's heaps of strategies, and I think that it's a productivity thing. So I'm really passionate about it. I guess I sort of fell into it from being a busy corporate woman with 3 little kids and trying to juggle everything, and I needed to make the most of my time.
So this was in the corporate environment. You noticed that they had a real lack of structure in terms of time management.
Absolutely. It's and I even now when I look, I've got 3 teenagers, and time management is not something that's taught at school. It's not a skill that we're taught, and it really needs to be, because the more productive you are, the less hours you have to work, basically. And the better you do at work. And people sort of think that you're a real gun and you're getting through things really, really quickly. And it's more, we can all do that. Everyone can do that. It's just about having the strategies, and just, like they teach you IT, or they teach you debating or whatever. Time management is so critical from the time you're a student all the way through.
Yeah, and it's funny you brought up they don't teach you that in school, because kind of what this whole podcast is about. But yeah, you don't think of time management as like a subject, like you would the examples you just gave. But really, everybody will use time management in their life. That's basically guaranteed, no matter what you're doing. So why are we not learning practical strategies and how to implement it?
Absolutely. I look at it in terms of, say, I guess a great analogy is, I think, at school, primary school and high school, they teach you maths, but they don't necessarily teach you how to manage your money and how to have a budget and how to allocate to that budget and how much can you earn and how much should you spend. And I think that that's something that should be taught at schools as well.
100%.
And I think time management's the same as that. In fact, I'd flip it around and I'd say to your listeners, look, time isn't something that we can manage. It's not about time management. It's about time investment. And you need to invest your time the way you invest your money and make the right decisions so that you're getting the greatest possible return.
I think it comes down to, like, if we start time management skills young, it compounds. And the amount of years you're saving, if you start implementing strategies that save you time, sure, the first year you might save, let's say 3 or 4 days or whatever, but then next year you get better and you're saving a week, and then 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and then, you end up saving for every 5 weeks you're working essentially one less week than everyone else, because you're going to all the same amount done.
It definitely does work that way. And I think that even as a student, or a young adult, if you like, the more you can systemize the basics, where there are things that you're constantly doing or you're regularly doing, don't recreate it every single time. So what, you want to automate and systemize as much of the basics as possible. And that means that you're investing a chunk of time up front to systemize and to create the system and the process. But once you've done that, you're just getting returns every single day.
And what are the basics?
Well, I think that in terms of, say, students, the basics is having a really good calendar and knowing your energy, knowing when you're at your best. So if you're, say, a morning person, that's the time you should be dedicating to doing your study, for example. If you're sort of better in the afternoons, then you want to structure your calendar to make sure that that's the time you're doing your hardest work. Some of the other basics are just having that routine around locking in deadlines. One of the things I see right from school through to professionals is that they tell you that they like to work on adrenaline. Oh, I get my best results when I'm near the cutoff, or I like to leave it to the last minute because then I get my best results. And it's just rubbish. It's they've trained that's it, and they've trained their brain to kind of work that way. And it's an adrenaline infused sort of rush of stress and anxiety. And if you're working like that as a student, then there's every chance you'll take that into your working life. And it's not a great way to work.
So build the habits and the systems now, because even though your structure from uni to work life is going to change, if you're going to still have the basic systems in place,
that's right,
it'll cross over.
Absolutely. So having another, right from scratch, a really great to-do list. So a master to-do list where you write down everything you need to do for the week, and then just pick the 2 most important things you have to do Monday. and get those done. You don't have to do 800 things, and then revisit the list each night. Pick the 2 most important things for Tuesday. Just keep it simple. Use your calendar in conjunction with your to-do list. Have really great deadlines. A big one, a big basic is not to multitask. Multitasking does not work.
Yeah.
And in fact, let's prove it right now to your listeners.
Yeah, sure.
So when I say go, I want you to count out loud to 26, saying every single number as fast as you can. Go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26.
Beautiful. All right. Now this time when I say go, I want you to do the alphabet as fast as you can. Go.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z.
Excellent. All right.
Okay.
This time I want you to go 1A, 2B, 3C.
Okay.
Go.
1A, 2B, 3C, 4D, 5H, 6J, K. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
we can't multitask.
And I'm so bad at that. I mean, I'm such a sucker for multitasking. Like, I always catch myself doing it. Like, I'll just, and emails or something will pop up and I'm like, I'll work on that, and I'll work on that, and I'll work on that.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, I don't know if you talk about getting in flow and like in the zone where you can just kind of crush out one thing at a time.
Yeah.
But sometimes I enter that and it feels really good. And I'm sure people can probably agree. They've been doing an assignment. I've been doing something where I've just spent 2 hours crushing it out, and that 2 hours is more productive than like 6 hours doing it and maybe doing 2 or 3, 4 things at once.
Absolutely. And in flow doesn't need to be this kind of, you know, nirvana state that you can only create every now and then and it hits you and, oh my God, I'm in flow, let's punch it out. You can create that flow for yourself every single day by batching your time in your calendar and just focusing on one thing at a time. So if you've got an assignment that you have to do and you're focusing on that, set a timer for 40 minutes and work in a 40-minute batch of time. Turn your emails off, turn your notifications off, turn your phone off, turn off all those distractions, and you can train yourself to get into flow. Yeah.
And obviously during high school, or I mean anyone young suffers from the phone, right? So you're sitting down doing an assignment, oh, someone messages me, oh, you're complaining about the assignment together or something. It's like, really, I know it's hard and it sounds easy, but it's actually hard. Just hit airplane mode, turn off your phone for 40 minutes. But, you know, there's always your brain's like, oh, what if someone's messaging me? I want to check. But you've just got to try enter that flow state by, as you said, creating it. You've got to switch
off the distractions. You know, this whole sort of FOMO thing. I mean, what is it that you think they're messaging you about that's any more important than what you're trying to do?
Especially within 40 minutes.
Exactly.
What is going to be you need to answer within 40 minutes?
That's it. You know, you'll be looking at your phone. It's like, well, it's going to be pictures of someone who's been to the gym and then someone's had breakfast after the gym and then they've put a picture of their cat up. I mean, who cares? So you have to be self-disciplined about this stuff. On average, students or, you know, younger generations, if you like, are spending up to 9 hours a day on their phone.
9 hours a day?
Yeah.
Whew, yeah. I thought I was bad.
Yeah. Okay. And you can actually track it. You can turn the apps on that tells you how long you've been.
Apple's got it built in as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. And use that stuff and put some boundaries around your phone usage, because it's impacting your ability to focus on what's more important, really.
Yeah. And I think, and Apple breaks it down into like what, because obviously you can be doing good stuff on your phone, but Apple will tell you what has been social media and you can have a look at the exact numbers. And yeah, it's shockingly high. That's it. And just look at it across a couple of days and just sort of map your habits and make some better decisions about where you want to spend your time. And maybe, I don't know if you would agree on this, let's say we're doing an assignment together. Maybe say to the group chat, hey, let's just turn off our phone for 40 minutes and focus on an assignment. Or this afternoon, let's not talk, let's not distract each other, let's kind of do it together. Yeah. Because as obviously uni, high school, I was no better, always leaving it to last minute. And, you know, people are working up until like 3, 4 a.m. in the morning, which just blows my mind because I feel like your productivity and your mental state and how effective your writing is and your assignment work is at that time of night. It just plummets. Yeah. Yeah. So even though you might get it done, your results aren't going to be as good because you were, you know, on a few energy drinks at 2 o'clock in the morning. Exactly. I think that, you know, to address the first thing you said is, you know, collaborate with your friends. If you're working on an assignment, then
agree some rules and keep each other accountable and say, okay, let's all commit to just, even if you start with 20-minute bursts of focused work and then slowly try and build it up. But if you keep each other accountable and collaborate that way, then it's a really great way to focus. The other thing I'd say is, you know, and I think I mentioned it earlier, is you've got to match your energy to your hardest work. So if you've got a really hard assignment or you're studying for some exams and it's really intense sort of stuff, the last thing you want to be doing is doing that at 2 a.m. because no one, well, very few people are at their absolute best at 2 a.m. So you want to work out, okay, when am I my most energized, my most impactful, creative, feeling awake, bouncing around with energy? That's the time I should be using to study for these really hard exams, because what it means ultimately is you're going to retain more, but it also means that you're saving time, because if you do the hard work when it's not your best brain, if you use your worst brain for your hardest work, it's going to take you twice as long, and it also means that your error rate will increase significantly.